A few simple changes in your lifestyle can change your health destiny.
The theme of this program is that disease is unnatural. Health is the natural state. If what I'm claiming is true, and you really could protect yourself against cancer, against heart attacks, and against dementia in later life, what would that protection be worth to you? Millions, right? Yes. Not even. It's priceless. Something money can't buy. Well, in this show, I'm going to give you this life-saving information.
I deal with chronic pain on a daily basis. I have numerous problems. One, I have ulcerative colitis.
Crohn's disease, just throughout my digestive system. It's a very, very difficult thing to live with.
My problems are weight, as you can see.
All of this stuff is clearly not natural and shouldn't be happening to a 26-year-old.
They're drugging them and drugging them and drugging them, and the drugs have side effects.
The properly prescribed use of medicine is the third leading cause of death in this country.
If you haven't looked just here, these are some of the medications I take.
These lifelong medications cause lifelong side effects or adverse events in millions and millions of people.
I need to do this for my health, for my children.
We're at a crisis point, and if something doesn't change, all of these diseases are going to continue to escalate.
I can say honestly I have not felt well for 25 years. But if I don't start putting myself first, there isn't going to be a me to help others.
The story now is that 1,000 people have died in this country from H1N1. That possibly is true. It's a serious disease. It's not to be totally ignored. But how many people were already sick and how many people really had the disease? And is 1,000 a catastrophic event where we have to have a national emergency and do all the things that they're doing? Between January and April of this year, there were 13,000 people that died in this country from the ordinary flu. That's 800 per week. I mean, it wasn't even mentioned. So here we have come up for the total year of 1,000, and there's a bit of hysteria going on regarding this.
There are many more people who died from tuberculosis in the world. I will give you the numbers. 31 deaths in swine flu, 63,000 deaths in tuberculosis during 13 days based on tuberculosis data from WHO. And how did the media cover this? Well, looking in Google's news search, the number of news reports on swine flu was 250,000. And for tuberculosis, it was 6,500. This enables the calculation of a measure of media relevance called the news per death ratio. News per death ratio. And for swine flu, it was 8,176 news report per each death. And for tuberculosis, it was 0.1 report per each person that died. A severe underreporting of a daily catastrophe.
What are the basic precautions that people can take?
I think people whose immunity is lower or who have severe lung disease because of any other cause should protect themselves from the cold. So they should not be stepping out early morning, late evening. Try and avoid coming in contact with people who have a cough, cold or fever. And then, even if they develop symptoms, they should seek help early. So these are people whose immunity is compromised.
It's estimated that this year, cancer will become the leading killer in this country. So if your doctor said to you, do this and you may lower your risk for cancer, wouldn't you just listen and do it? Now, there was a recent Washington Post report on the president's cancer panel that says that Americans face, and this is a quote, grievous harm from chemicals in the air, food, and water that have largely gone unregulated and ignored. What surprised you the most about this?
I have it right here. I've read it, and it says reducing environmental cancer risk, what we can do now. And this is 240 pages that anybody can Google and read. And what this report says, in essence, is we are getting cancer from the chemicals. It is from what we're eating, it's the poisons on our food, it's the chemicals in our cosmetics, it's the radiation exposure, cell phones, electronics that we don't have any protection from them. It's from imbalanced hormones, it's from toxins in our household. And next year, cancer will be the biggest killer in the world. 50% of all American adults will be diagnosed with cancer next year. It's in this report. It's not me saying it.
Have you ever noticed that there's a veritable epidemic of cancers? Since the Industrial Revolution, the cancer rate today has risen to 1 in 2. Are you getting that? I mean, 1 out of every 2 people would get cancer in their lifetime.
Well, we come with a basic program. It's called self-healing. You get a wound, it grows back together. You get a bacterial infection, the immune system comes and takes care of those bacteria and heals it up. The immune system is made to heal itself.
What I'm telling you here is that your immune system is the mastermind behind your body's ability to resist disease.
One of the things that's pretty much without dispute is that the immune system plays a big role in the prevention of disease. As a matter of fact, the immune system is really your first line of defense against pathogens, against the bad guys that come in and try to invade your body and make you sick. Have you ever wondered why, let's say you've got some kiddos and they're in school, and somebody comes to school in their class and they're sick with the flu. And the next day, maybe half the class is out with the flu, but the other half is at school and they never get sick. What was the difference? What was the difference between those children? Were they exposed to different flu bugs? No, they're exposed to the same flu bug, but the kids that didn't get sick had an immune system that was functioning the way it should have been, and those that got sick, for some reason that immune system was compromised. Tonight's going to be a powerful episode. You are going to understand the immune system better than 99% of the people out there after you listen to this information. We're going to teach you what the immune system is, what it does, and what substances might compromise that immune system and make you sick. I hope you enjoy the information. I hope you learn from the information that we're going to share with you tonight. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy the show.
So I used my skills as a physician and a scientist to find anything I could in the scientific literature, not in anything esoteric, in the scientific literature that would help me strengthen my body's ability to resist cancer. And this is the scientific story I want to tell you tonight. The first thing I learned was at first depressing, but in the end very encouraging. I learned that we all have cancer cells in our bodies. This is a natural part of what biology does. It manufactures cancer cells. You can't do anything about that. We also all are exposed to cancer-promoting agents, carcinogens. They're part of gas exhaust on the street. You can't avoid that either. Now, the interesting fact is that only 1 in 4, and I don't know if only is the right word, but 1 in 4 of us will develop cancer in our lifetime. But that means that for people, even though 100% of us carry cancer cells and are exposed to carcinogens, 3 out of 4 of us are able to resist that process. So by definition, we have to conclude that for most of us, our bodies have natural defense mechanisms that can identify and destroy cancer cells so that it never becomes an active disease.
Are constantly getting rid of micro diseases and cancer every single day. Each one of us has 750,000 cancer cells in us, and our immune system is either going after it or it's not, and there becomes an imbalance in the system. But we're all fighting some kind of micro diseases and cancers every single day of our life.
We get cancer cells occurring, cancers, precancers, weird, not abnormal cells. We get them to occur in our bodies, and the immune system is catching them, it's killing them, just like it's catching and killing bacteria and yeast, and we're exposed to a lot of bacteria and viruses and so on that a good immune system can eliminate.
But why does the tumor occur? Well, it occurs because the immune system, which is designed to take care of cancer cells, which grow in our body every day, has been overwhelmed.
Your immune system is the world's greatest pharmacy. It makes more than 100 billion types of medicine, called antibodies, that attack unwanted germs, viruses, or unhealthy cells that enter your body. The natural remedies produced by your own immune system provide the most effective healing agents on Earth. And there are no harmful side effects.
first of all, these natural defenses are not pie in the sky. They're very real. This is human blood with cancer cells and white blood cells from the immune system. All of us have cancer cells. All of us have white blood cells that can identify and destroy them if we don't interfere with the ability of our natural defenses to do their job. See, here's another one that's going to get gobbled up, and here's another one. This is part of every one of us. We just need to learn how to help our defenses.
So cancer, first and foremost, is a problem with the immune system. You cannot have cancer if you have an intact immune system. Okay. If you have cancer, you don't have an intact immune system. If people say, oh no, my immune system's fine, then you can't have cancer. You can't have two. Okay, those two things can't live together. If it's an immune system that's compromised, you can have cancer. If you have a cancer, you have to, by definition, have a compromised immune system.
With all our patients, whether it's cancer or any kind of chronic disease, it's always about lowering inflammation and improving and increasing immune system response. Because your immune system has to fight, fix, and repair against anything, right? So it's not just suppression, it's about strengthening. But the nice thing about the natural therapies is it turns on and off genes accordingly. So it's not just turning off genes always. It's also upregulation and downregulation. So curcumin, I mentioned, I showed you that slide today, and it shows certain genes are now turned on that our body already has this natural mechanism of fighting cancer, for example. And we want to keep stimulating that. What happens is as we get older, through other things of environment, lifestyle, stress, diet, those genes and those transcription factors and those proteins turn off. So we all are born with it. We just want to keep stimulating it, right? And the nice thing is that these natural therapies can, turn on the things that we want to turn on and turn off the things we want to turn off.
Okay, so we're starting to get the full picture here. We just heard from 5 medical doctors that all talked about the fact that cancer is a result of a compromised immune system.
But guess what? No one wants to know that. Cancer is one of the richest multi-billion-dollar industries in the world, and there's no focus on what is working, what has been used sometimes for hundreds or thousands of years. So if we found this cure for cancer right now, this multi-billion-dollar industry would fail.
The immune system is powerful. It's the first line of defense that we have against bacteria, viruses, pathogens, and cancer cells. And what a lot of people don't realize is that the immune system is powerful. It has over hundreds of functions in the body, and there are billions of immune cells at your disposal every day. And when I think of our immune system, I think of a Star Wars galactic battle going on, because the immune system really does some incredible things. One of the immune cells will shoot out specific particles that will blast open a virus in a cancer cell. Other immune cells will secrete specific chemical poisons to cause those pathogens to die. Other immune cells will send out these long, sticky, gooey pods and engulf the pathogen in the cancer cell and recycle it and use its body parts. So the immune system is very powerful. And the important thing to know about your immune system is that 80% of your immune system is in the mucosal lining of your intestinal tract. So if you don't have a healthy intestinal tract, if you're feeding your body a lot of junk, the typical SAD foods, SAD foods, standard American diet food, your immune system is going to be compromised.
Your immune system is the world's greatest pharmacy. It makes more than 100 billion types of medicine, called antibodies, that attack unwanted germs, viruses, or unhealthy cells that enter your body. The natural remedies produced by your own immune system provide the most effective healing agents on Earth. And there are no harmful side effects. All your immune system needs is the right raw materials.
The body has what Dr. Gerson called a natural healing mechanism. If it didn't, Every time you cut yourself, you would have an infection and die. Every time a woman in the kitchen burns herself, she would get an infection because the skin is broken and die. If you ever have, like a kid is active and falls and breaks a bone, and that kid would never have perfect normal function again. Okay? In other words, the body is normally organized in order to heal. Yes, the body has a built-in natural healing mechanism. And Dr. Gerson was definitely of the opinion that only thing you have to do is restore and rebuild the body's healing mechanism. Actually, when the defenses are in order, your immune system, your enzyme system, your hormone system, your essential organs like the liver and the lungs and the brain and the heart, if those organs are in order, cancer is impossible. You cannot have cancer. The body has too many powerful defenses, so that cancer is, first of all, completely avoidable, and secondly, even in advanced situations, totally curable by restoring the body's ability to reactivate this healing mechanism.
I love that quote. Any good health measure is an anti-cancer measure. And if you have a fully functioning immune system, you cannot have cancer.
No doctor has ever healed anyone of anything in the history of the world. The human immune system heals. And that's the only thing that heals. True, doctors sometimes can alleviate symptoms enough so the body can go back and heal itself. Thus the doctor gets the credit for the healing. Okay, I'm all right with that. But we need to stop dealing with symptoms and start dealing with causation.
Bob Wright just said something very interesting. Doctors don't heal. The immune system heals.
The biggest cause of cancer is not radiation, chemicals in the water, or pollutants in the air, but a weakened immune system that cannot recognize and kill cancer cells. Now close your blinds, turn down the volume, and make sure no one else is watching, because I'm about to let you in on a dirty little secret. Ready? We already have a cure for cancer. It's called the immune system. Your immune system not only protects you against colds and flus, but it's been protecting humans from cancer since the very beginning. It's the only cure for cancer we have. Always has been and always will be. Don't look to the cancer industry for a cure. The cure for cancer is right inside you. And the only way to win your personal war on cancer is to strengthen your immune system by changing your diet.
Can the mind really heal the body? And if so, is there any scientific evidence to convince skeptical physicians like me? These are the questions that fueled the last few years of my research. And what I discovered is that the scientific community, the medical establishment, has been proving for over 50 years that the mind can heal the body. We call it the placebo effect. But I actually think this is really good news. The placebo effect is excellent news because it's concrete evidence that the body holds within it innate self-repair mechanisms that can make unthinkable things happen to the body. So if you find this surprising, if you have a hard time believing that the body can heal itself, you need look no further than the Spontaneous Remission Project, a database compiled by the Institute of Noetic Sciences of over 3,500 case studies in the medical literature of patients who have gotten better from seemingly incurable illnesses. You think there's such a thing as an incurable illness? I swear, if you go look at this database, it'll blow your mind. Everything's in there. Stage 4 cancers that disappeared without treatment. HIV-positive patients that became HIV negative. Heart disease, kidney failure, diabetes, high blood pressure, thyroid disease, autoimmune diseases, gone. So the scientific literature, the medical journals like the New England Journal of Medicine and the Journal of the American Medical Association, these scientific journals are full of evidence that the placebo effect and the nocebo effect are incredibly powerful. We've known this since the 1950s, and we've seen countless case studies that show that in almost everything you study, if you give people a fake treatment, a sugar pill, a saline injection, or most effectively a fake surgery, 18 to 80% of the time, people get better. And it's not just in their mind. That's what I thought in the beginning, like, oh, they're just feeling better, they're thinking better. But it's not. It's actually in their physiology. This is measurable. You can actually see what happens to the body. So, for example, patients getting placebos were found to have ulcers that healed, colons that became less inflamed, bronchi that dilated, warts that disappeared. Cells looked different under the microscope. It's provable. It's happening in the body, even though it's initiated by the mind. So when you look at these, some of the studies are just amazing. I love the Rogaine study. So, you get a bunch of bald men, you give them placebos, they grow hair. The opposite is also true. So if you give people a placebo and you tell them it's chemotherapy, they vomit and they lose their hair. So this is really happening in the body.
Did you know that 90% of all illnesses are caused by the mind? Let's think about this for a second. If the mind can cause an illness, don't you think it can heal those illnesses too? Well, it can. You're going to discover a natural phenomenon known as mind-body healing and how it holds the key to a healthier, happier, more vitalized you. You can be free from disease, stress, depression, and anxiety. Manage without pharmaceuticals, prescriptions, and drugs. You were born with the ability to heal yourself. Pharmaceuticals do have their place in medicine, and there are many treatments that do wonders for us every day. But there is an alternative, one free from side effects, lobbying, and advertising. What if you were never again dependent on pharmaceuticals to feel better? What if you could elevate yourself to a new level of consciousness, one free from pain? What if you knew how to heal yourself? Sounds like a big ask, right? Something that would normally be left to the gurus, miracle workers, and sci-fi characters. You'd be wrong. There's a hidden potential in all of us. At this very moment, millions of people around the world, people just like you and I, are already saying no to pharmaceuticals and yes to the benefits of mind-body healing. Imagine having the power to control and stop migraines and headaches before they even get started. The skill to eliminate aches and pains as they appear, or in some extreme cases, which we will touch upon soon, to recover from a terminal illness. The answer lies in your subconscious. Locked away, deep inside the depths of your mind, lies the power to fix any problem your mind and body is confronted with. And just like a computer, your subconscious can be reprogrammed to operate at a higher level. Because you were born a healer.
you.